Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a woman asking for information over the phone. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon, Plainfield Community Centre.
Yes, hi. I'm new in town, and I was curious about the services the community centre has to offer.
We offer a variety of recreational activities. What were you interested in particular?
Well, everything, I guess. Okay, let's start with kids. I have a teenage son. What activities do you have for teens?
Right now, during the school year, we have tutoring sessions for children and teens in all subjects.
That would be good. He needs help with algebra.
We can certainly help with that. Just have him come by any Wednesday or Saturday afternoon. That's when the tutoring sessions are scheduled.
Fantastic! What about sports? Do you have sports activities for teens?
We have tennis lessons on Sunday mornings for teens and Sunday afternoon for adults.
I don't think my son would like that, but my husband might. For myself, I'd be more interested in yoga. Do you offer yoga classes?
We do. Our yoga classes take place on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. We divide it up into several groups, so there's one class for younger children, one for teens, and one for adults.
Really? I doubt my husband and son would be interested, but I'd like to sign up for yoga. I also like reading. Do you have any book clubs?
We have one just about to start. The first meeting will be next Friday morning. It will focus on early 20th century novels.
Too bad it's Friday morning. I think my son would enjoy it, but of course he's in school at that time.
Well, actually, that book club is for adults only. We may start one up for teens next summer, but we have nothing for that age group right now.
Oh well, I suppose he has enough to keep him busy for now. Now, what about fees? Do these classes and activities cost anything?
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
There's a small charge for non-members for each class. However, they're all free to members. Would you be interested in becoming a member?
How much does the membership cost?
Not much at all. The yearly fee is $75 for individuals and $225 for families.
What do I get with the membership?
You get free access to all classes and activities, and you can use our facilities like the tennis court, the exercise room and the meeting room.
It's not a bad deal, really. Could you tell me exactly where the centre is located?
It's at 107 Elliott Street.
Is that Elliot with 2 L's or 1 L?
1L. E-L-I-O-T. It's right downtown.
I think I know where it is. Do you have free parking?
Yes, you can park just across the street. There's a garage there.
That sounds easy enough. Maybe I'll come in one day next week and sign up for some classes.
That would be fine. But don't come on Monday because we're closed that day. We're open Tuesday through Sunday.
Oh, thanks for telling me. Maybe I'll stop in on Tuesday then. Can I pay for the classes with a personal check?
We accept checks and credit cards.
Okay, thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a hike leader giving information about an upcoming hiking trip. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. As you listen to the first part of the talk, answer questions 11 to 15.
Good evening, everyone. As you know, this is our last meeting before we set off on our annual week-long hiking trip. So tonight I'll be telling you everything you'll need to know to be ready for the trip. Let's talk about equipment first. Having the right equipment is essential for your comfort and safety. First, you'll need a warm and comfortable sleeping bag. However, you won't need to worry about carrying a tent, since we'll be sleeping in shelters along the way. Also, part of the fee you've paid for the trip goes toward food, so you won't need to put that on your packing list either. We found, though, that it's more efficient for each person to bring his or her own dishes, so be sure to pack a plastic bowl, a cup, and a fork, knife, and spoon. That's all you'll need in the way of dishes. Perhaps the most important item to put on your list is a comfortable pair of hiking boots. Nothing ruins a hike more than getting blisters and sores from ill-fitting boots. So make sure your boots fit you right. Shoes and sneakers aren't adequate for the type of hiking we'll be doing. Of course, a backpack is necessary for carrying your equipment. Make sure you have one that's lightweight and comfortable to carry. Walking poles have become popular among hikers recently, but we don't recommend them. They can get in the way when too many hikers are using them at once, and some serious injuries have been caused. So it's best to leave those at home. Let's see, what else? Oh, yes, some people have asked me about trail maps. They're available, but you really don't need them, as your hike leaders have scouted out the trail and will be guiding you along the way. And don't forget to bring a warm jacket. You may think you won't need one in this warm summer weather, but remember that evenings in the mountains can get quite cold. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Oh, yes, your guides will each be carrying a first aid kit, so that's one less thing for you to pack yourself. Remember, you'll be carrying your backpack all day, so keep your load light and don't overpack.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
I know you're all experienced hikers, but it's always worth repeating the rules of the trail since they're so important. These rules are in place for the safety of everyone on the trip. As you know, there'll be a hike leader walking at the head of the line who will show the group the way. At the end of the line will be the rear leader, or sweep. It's important to always stay ahead of this person while we're on the trail. There are several different trails on the mountain where we'll be hiking, and they cross each other at some points. When you come to any intersection of trails, stop and wait for the rest of the group to catch up. This way we can be sure that no one goes off on the wrong trail. Let me emphasize here how important it is to stay on the trail. We'll be climbing through some steep and rocky areas. Don't be tempted to go off on your own and try to climb some rocks. That can be quite dangerous. Also, it's not likely, but it is possible that we'll encounter some large wild animals along the way. The last thing you want to do is try to feed any of them. That will just encourage them to follow us, which could lead to some dangerous situations. One last thing before we set off hiking each morning, be sure to fill up your water bottle. This is perhaps the most important safety rule. Dehydration can be a serious problem when you're out in the wilderness, so you must always be sure to carry an adequate supply of water with you. I think that covers just about everything. Are there any questions?
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear a tutor talking to a student about a future assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Professor James. Have you got a minute? You see, I'm having a bit of trouble getting started on my graduate employability assignment.
Well, okay, as long as it doesn't take longer than 10 minutes, as I have a meeting to get to at 3:30.
Yep, fine. It shouldn't take long at all.
Okay, Sally. Tell me what you've done so far, and we'll go from there.
Well, as you suggested, I chose 3 local businesses and contacted them via telephone to introduce myself.
That's good.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't get past the secretary of 2 of them. Do you have any suggestions?
What about following up with a letter stating what time you'll be calling again?
Oh, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
So, tell me about the one you have contacted.
Right. Well, he was very helpful, actually. He received the survey I emailed him and has already sent it back. I've had a very quick look at it, but haven't had a chance to write it up yet.
So far, so good. Carry on.
Well, apart from that, I've also found a lot of statistics that exist on the starting salaries graduates begin on once they finish studying. There's some really interesting stuff out there. Did you know, for example, that your average engineer earns nearly as much as a medical graduate?
Yes, I did.
Gosh, I had no idea.
Having second thoughts about a career in human resources, are we?
No, but I was surprised. Anyway, getting back to where I was, I've gone to the library, but the books you recommend have already been taken out. Apart from one, that is. It's called A Starting Success. I haven't read it yet, but I've taken it out and it's on my list of things to do.
Have you come up with a plan yet?
Yes, and I've written my hypothesis as well as my introduction, but that's where I've got stuck. I don't really know how I'm going to be able to present all of the information, as there's so much of it.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Well, firstly, I'd recommend you start with analyzing what the employer said. Now, can I have a look at the questionnaire you wrote?
Yes, here it is.
Thanks. Oh, dear. Well, it's no wonder you're overwhelmed with information. You've collected a lot of information which can be overwhelming.
Oh dear, that took me ages. And does that mean I can't use it?
Afraid so. But don't worry, if you've got a pen and paper, I'll quickly give you some pointers, and then you can rejig it to get the information you're looking for.
Okay, just a minute. I know there's a pen in here somewhere. Okay, got it.
Right. Well, first and foremost, you need to be clear. There's no point having a beautifully worded document throughout that no one understands. Use language that is simple.
Right, got that. What next?
You need to catch the reader's attention at the start of the document. And you need to find the right balance between formal and informal language. Your survey isn't an official document, but more of a living one that serves a purpose. So neutral language is best.
Okay, just writing that down. Okay.
The next one's what your mistake was this time. Try not to use open-ended questions, or you'll find it impossible to collate your results.
Yep, I think I've learned my lesson there. What else?
Scales really do make the job of completing the questionnaire easier for the recipients by saving them lots of time and effort writing.
I take your point. Anything else?
One last thing. Make sure you've thought about the logic of your questions. There's nothing worse than trying to make choices about things that seem to have no order.
Right. Got it. I see where I went wrong now, and we'll try to do better next time.
Don't worry. It's a very easy mistake to make, and one that many people come across the first time they do this kind of assignment. Okay, Sally, I really must rush. I'm late for my appointment.
Of course. Thanks for your help. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Bye.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a student giving a presentation about the process of urbanization. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm here today to present my findings on the process of urbanisation and its impact on the environment. As you know, urbanisation involves the movement of people from the countryside to the cities. As this process continues, the cities of the world continue to grow. I will demonstrate how this growth is eating away at the planet's most fertile land. My research has focused on 2 studies that looked at land use in the United States. These have shown that since its independence, only 3% of all land in the United States has been built on. However, the same studies have also shown that the resulting loss of productive land is comparatively much greater. This isn't so much of a problem in America, as it has a relatively low ratio of people to land. However, most other countries are not so blessed, the impact of which could have dire consequences for the future. The real danger here is if this pattern were to be repeated by developing countries, it could have a major effect on the world's food supplies in the next 50 years. In order to reach this conclusion, several research methods were adopted. A group of scientists in the United States used a weather satellite that normally maps moonlit cloud cover at night. However, on nights when there were no clouds, they used the satellite to map the generation of heat from city lights. They then took the data and divided land use into 3 categories: urban, semi-urban, and non-urban land use. Next, they calculated how active the vegetation is in each region by using different satellites. When they combined this information with previous statistics and weather conditions, they came up with a number for total productivity for all areas. So what did the results of this process of land classification show? Well, firstly, they proved that although only a tiny percentage of the land in the United States is urbanized, and 29% of land is used for agricultural purposes, the land which has been built on actually has the best soils. These were independently corroborated by a second team of scientists in San Francisco, whose results show that this process is happening even faster in the southeastern corner of the United States. This means that land that is extremely productive from an agricultural point of view is being taken over by lawns, golf courses, and a few scattered trees. As a direct result of urbanization, the researchers in San Francisco calculated that every year 91 million tons of plants are lost in the US. So what does this mean for the future? Well, I have come up with some of my own ideas for practical solutions. Countries should calculate whether urbanization is happening on their fertile lands too, especially if they have large populations compared to the amount of land available, like India and China, for example. If it is, then every effort should be made to stop the process from happening. This can be done in many ways. One of them is to stop investing in the infrastructure of those areas. If people don't have the facilities they need, they won't want to live there. But in my opinion, the main solution here is to offer people financial incentives to move away from fertile land to areas that are less valuable in agricultural terms. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation this morning. Thanks for your kind attention. I will now take any questions if you...
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.